When the sun sets, the undead awaken. To slake their hunger, they feed upon the herd of unaware mortals. Right beneath our noses, the kindred clash against their rivals as they vie for control of the city of San Francisco. Are you strong enough to cheat Final Death and see another night? Vampire the Masquerade Rivals expandable card game from Renegade Game Studios.
Good evening, vampires and other denizens of the dark. It is Vampire Wednesday, and the Matts are here, Matt Holland and Matt Hyra, to talk about Rivals and what's going on. Matt, how you doing?
I am doing all right.
Awesome. Well, we told people to tune in because we've got lots of news, and we are going to get to all of that here in time. But first, you just when you think you're done with Prince of the City, we've got two more coming up. September 24th in Magdeburg, Germany, and October 1st in Lyon, France at the, I think it's Octogenes Convention. It's probably not right. It's French, and I'm not a French speaker. But two more chances to become Prince over there on mainland Europe. Get over to the Vampire Rivals site. You can find the registration links up on the Prince of the City page, which is under Organized Play. So that's up as of today. The registration's there. Get out there and have a good time and win yourself a Prince title. More on titles in just a little bit, though. First,
all right,
Matt, what did we talk about last week? Dragon in the Rogue, right?
Sure. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Last week was kind of a little post-holiday, break. So 2 weeks ago, yes, we did talk about Dragon in the Rogue, and I think we talked about the Dragon side. No,
it's the rogue side.
No, the rogue side. The rogue side. That's right. It was the rogue side. And so yes, we're not doing previews tonight, but we will be soon.
Indeed. So next week we'll be continuing those previews, but in the meantime, just remember the Dragon in the Rogue, the next expansion for Vampire Rivals, is up for pre-order. You can hit on your local version of the Renegade web store, whether it's the United States and other countries, EU, or the UK. So head over there, you get those pre-order promos at no additional cost, and just be ready to go when Ravnos and Simichi come out. In addition, not a regular product for just everyone, but very relevant to retailers who might be tuning in, or those of you who have a friendly local game store that is supporting Rivals, let them know the Clan Clash kit is now available to order. So this is a $40 kit. It's our kind of store championship experience. The winner will be the Primogen of the store. Everybody will get 5 new promos for participation, including the first character to card prize to come to fruition from Gen Con last year. Josh Johnson's La Sombra, I believe, vampire in that pack, along with some new agendas and havens, like some new stuff, introducing some pretty cool new ways to play. You also will get playmats for the top 4. The playmats are really awesome looking, and I will post a picture in the Discord right after, because it's not in my slideshow. And you will get a silver set of agenda tokens for winning it. So you will have some great prizes in there. There's also a set of promos for the judge. So whoever's running the event, don't worry, you're not going to miss out on the goodies. Those are $40. They're up in all 3 stores right now. You can order them as a store. If you are a player or a player group, you do not have a store to run that, but you have some space where you can have a publicly available tournament and let others come and play, let me know. You can reach out to me by email or on Discord, and I can get you set up to order that kit as well. I know some community members have already reached out. Their store right now isn't looking to run it, so they want to run it themselves. Perfectly fine. It just has to be something open to the public that we can promote and be a assembly point, a rally point for the community. More on that later too. But Matt, we had a great time at Gen Con. European, or the North American Conclave, fantastic. Daniel Trujillo, our Justicar. Do you want to know when this is going to be happening in Europe? Because I think a lot of people in the chat do.
I think they do. I do too.
So we have some great news. Sorry, it took a little while to get straightened out, but we are partnering with Renegade France. We are going to be having the European Continental Conclave November 19th and 20th in Toulouse, France. So the exact details on the venue and how to register, that sort of thing will be available very soon. But you can go ahead and block off that weekend, get ready. You're going to have all the same great prizes. In fact, I have, Jesus, this thing is sharp. The trophy, which, comes with a little bit of my blood on it now, probably, for the European champion.
That's fitting.
Yeah. The top 4 get the Continental Conclave deck box here with the foil on the cover and room to store your city deck and everything and your faction deck in there. Participation is the plastic agendas and havens that we've been seeing at Prince events and at the Gen Con event. Every single agenda and haven that is in the game up through Heart of Europe on offer there. Participation also is a set of these great gold agenda tokens. And then there's some other stuff in there too. Namely, I believe this is the top 16. These are full color acrylic Wraith tokens by our friends over at Warsenal. So a lot of great prizes. Sir Fantasia, Senor Fantasia, whatever it is there, asking, is there going to be a 1v1 event? There is a plan to have side events. So 1v1 and team are the most likely that you're going to see there. Maybe some other stuff as well. The French team is putting the finishing details on that, and that will be available with the full details on registration. So we'll have the same sort of slate of prizes, all the goodies sent across the pond for you guys to play. Now, for those of you going to the European one, it is unlikely that Matt and myself will be there. We have a great set of judges there in Europe that can be running this, and the French team, which is now they'll have run 2 Prince events successfully. So don't count on us being there. Apologies in advance. We will owe people, signatures on playmats and cards, when we do make it over there or see people. So again, that is November 19th and 20th in Toulouse, the European Continental Conclave.
Question about that Clan Clash pack. Is it available for order right now or sometime?
It is available for order right now. Approved retailers, Peter Eggham, I think you are the Nightly Gaming guy. I know Gotama is in here too, another retailer. For those of you who are set up as retailers on the Renegade web store, you should be able to see it already. If you can't, shoot me a message. For those of you who are just regular players who had access to OP cards, OP kits, you will not be able to see it by default. Like I said, this is not just to play like with your 3 buddies in your basement. This has to be a publicly available event. So let me know if you are interested and you have a venue to run it in. Lorcan asking, will English cards be legal at the European Conclave? Absolutely. The plan, one of the reasons for that date, the French team should have everything up through Heart of Europe available for their community, which means we'll have the same cards available for the whole player base, everything legal, everybody using the same cards, nobody's left out, nobody has to play in a language they're unfamiliar with, kind of a perfect storm for that. So yes, you can use any language you like. We will have English-speaking judges, we'll have French-speaking judges, we have all that taken care of. Will English be the primary language of the event? I
would have to say probably not, based on that it's in France, but yeah, there will certainly be English-speaking judges.
Yeah, and there will be full accommodation for English speakers. So, announcements, calling round times and things like that will be done in both languages, all that sort of stuff. So they are dedicated to not only providing a great experience for the French players, but for the rest of the European community as well. So I'm happy to hear if you have concerns, comments, suggestions about that, please reach out to me. We'll happily take that kind of stuff and make sure that we address anything like that you're worried about. But that is sort of what's going on in the tournament world. We've got the OP kits are shipping in the US, the new ones shipping very soon in the UK and Europe. But Matt, you have some card upgrades or some card updates that you want to talk about. And so,
yeah, did you mention the prizes for the Conclave, the champion?
I touched on a couple, but let me run through it real quick. Yeah. And Katie, go ahead and throw my picture up instead of our ugly faces so you can see the Conclave logo. So, Conclave, same as Gen Con. Participation is 1 set of Continental Conclave event promos. That is the city deck event cards that we use in Gen Con.
10 card event deck, yeah.
Yep, those are in English, Lorcan and Sokatep, who are asking. All those are in English, so there's going to be English for everybody in some way. Excuse me. You also get one European Continental Conclave playmat. Same design, but it says Europe. The one plastic spot gloss Haven or Agenda per round, and one set of acrylic Agenda tokens, 2 5s and 8 1s. So top 16 is those full color acrylic Wraith tokens. Top 4, the premium leather wrapped Continental Conclave deck box. And the champion gets turned into a vampire and takes home that very, very pointy trophy.
There you go.
So pretty exciting for that. I will update our Gen Con blog post on the Vampire Rivals site to show the European information as soon as we have the registration link and all that sort of stuff too. And the prizes will be listed there.
Yep. So speaking of cards and the metagame, players will recall that after Gen Con 2021, we had a few cards that we wanted to update to keep the metagame healthy, like Hunt the Hunters, a couple others, can't remember at the moment. And Gen Con 2022 showed us many things as well, some of which need a little bit of tweaking to keep things fun, fair, and to keep the meta healthy, where things aren't devolving into one deck ruling them all kind of thing. So, Mr. Holland, if you want to show our first card, these are cards that are going to be errated, and this is some functional errata. Sometimes it's very subtle, and it will be 30 days from today before they are legal. So all of the Prince events in Europe will be over by the time these are done, but
not the
October one. Yeah, the October 1st. Yeah.
I don't know calendars.
But of course, October 14th is before the European Conclave, so these will be in effect for the European Conclave. We will get PDFs of the cards posted on our website. You can use proxies for them during the event, and they will be printed in an upcoming set. So
much like we did in Heart of Europe with the original.
Yeah, like with Heart of Europe had a few errata cards like Sucker Punch, things like that. Yeah.
To be clear, Matt, these are the errated versions we're going to show, right?
Yes.
They have already find difference.
Correct. Yeah, it's been a little while since Gen Con because we had to do our due diligence of testing them, coming up with fair changes, identifying where the problems lie, and how to fix it. So
there you go.
Yes, let's start out with Disheveled Shelves. So this is a card that, no surprise, people were surprised to see that it actually made final table at Gen Con. So one of the issues that we quickly discovered is with clever play, you can surprise an opponent who thought they were completely safe with 17 cards in their deck. And then suddenly you play, you use one action, you use a couple of actions to knock some more cards in their hand, and then reveal 3 or 4 conspiracies, and suddenly they're at 0, having no opportunity to do anything about it at all. So
that's the change.
Yeah, so you may have noticed now that the difference here is Disheveled Shelves is now at the start of your turn if your rival's library has no card in it. Previously, it was just if your rival's library has no cards in it. So this does give the opportunity for a player to make one last, desperate.
From Hell's Heart, they stab at the.
Correct. One last chance, so that they're not dying. So dying to this without ever having seen it coming, right? And we'll So now it's gonna slow the Disheveled Shelves down by 1 turn essentially. Although you certainly could win at the start if you can knock your opponent down to like 2 cards in their library and they don't have anything in their faction deck. They're going to draw those cards, so you could actually still win the game just waiting for your turn come around, right? Instead of knocking them to 0 on your turn, you could just knock them down to 2 cards if you want. So, not that that's better for you, but it's not all doom and gloom is what I'm trying to say.
I see. The thing is, I didn't even realize what the difference was until I finally looked right at the start. Because in that first line,
it is that first line.
So there also be countered. Is there any way, Matt, in the game currently to put cards back into my library?
Not currently.
Okay.
There may be in the future, indeed. One thing about this is we also noticed that if there's more than one Disheveled Shelves deck at the table, those prosperity schemes are sure to succeed and could be very dangerous, meaning one of the Disheveled Shelves players is pretty much going to win the game, right? If you've got that many prosperities floating around. So we needed to just knock this one down just a peg so we don't see it overwhelming the tournament scene. So there you go. Trying to keep the metagame healthy. There it is.
Well, I suspect people appreciate, like I think I've mentioned, I think that the mill, or exhausting someone's deck playstyle is, I find it interesting both to play as and sometimes play against, but I know not everyone does. So not having it be the prevalent thing is probably a healthy choice. Indeed. So on to Dragon's Roost.
Dragon's Roost. Okay, so we have seen
real quick, Matt. Jason, a bunch of people asking, does Disheveled Shelves still work with spy games, which lasts until the start of your next turn? Do you choose the order?
Yeah. You choose the order of your start of turn effects, and so you can make your spy games work for you. Yes.
There you go. So Dragon's Roost. People speculated about it, and it is happening.
Yep. This card has had the most calls for something to be done. However, we still like the interaction of it. We still want there to be, some thought put into your attacks and the order in which you make them. But now the difference is only in the last line. So if the attack targeted a character, gain 1 prestige. It is no longer automatic prestige gain for whatever the attack was. This will possibly slow down a Roost deck from blocking an attack against a mortal, for instance.
It makes it less attractive to block the attack.
Slightly less attractive, yes. This card, obviously, Dragon's Roost has been seen in many, many final tables and almost won at every table during the rounds at Gen Con. So now it won't be quite as good for stopping people against mortals. You can still do it, you just won't gain the prestige. If the attack was against a character and you block it, you will gain that prestige, however. So we also just kind of updated the wording because a lot of people were confused about the whole move your leader to the streets type of thing. So we put in parentheses, if they are not already there. This clues you in immediately that, oh, I get it. I don't have to move my character to the street. That's been the age-old, do I have to be in my haven to use it? No, you don't have to. You can be in the streets already. If you're not in the streets, you move to the streets. That's all. So
makes sense. And I like that it doesn't seem like a huge nerf. So people who really like this play style, like, hopefully this is still, attractive to you and interesting to you.
Yeah. We still like, someone playing traffic cop and deciding when attacks go through and when they don't. We just don't want it to be always profitable every single time. And oftentimes blocking attacks against mortals, you would not be facing a combat card. And that was almost like just a freebie. You would maybe take 1 damage, rarely 2 for doing it and gain that prestige. So we wanted to slow that down a little bit.
Sounds good. Then from here on out, I think it's all characters, right?
Maybe.
Boom. So the first promo, and as we saw through the Prince season, one of the most popular characters, and I think definitely the most popular Brujah character in the game, Smoke is getting a little bit of a nerf.
Little bit. So Smoke, of course, was very popular with Dragon's Roost decks, but now at the end of your turn, it's ready one character in this party. Before, Smoke could just ready anybody. So oftentimes what would happen is he would come back from Torpor and then ready someone in the streets. So this is going to make him a little better for the homebody deck if you want to ready someone. So it might slow down Dragon's Roost a little bit, might not, because you can just sit at home. But basically, you have to be in the party. And of course, when you come back from Torpor, you're in your Haven, you're in the Haven party. So there will probably be some targets for it.
Sure. You can still use it in a lot of the same ways. You have to be a little bit more careful about party arrangement and things like that, it seems.
That's right.
All right. Next up, Tamaska, the default gang world leader from the pre-con. She, again, very, very popular in Prince of the City.
Very, 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 very. And, as we saw in the 1v1, she can really get going fast with animals. So the change is just from one action to one unhosted action. This will slow down the animal accumulation just a little bit. It will also prevent her from sometimes being able to attack 3 times in a turn or getting 3 attacks in a turn. Sure. Which can happen with Apex Predator and Drea and other shenanigans. So she was getting to be a little bit too good, and she will only get better as more animals come out. As you can imagine, more animals will come out over the months.
We'll be previewing some very soon.
Indeed. And it was just time to slow down, especially her ability to gain those extra attacks. But it will slow down the attacks a little bit. It will slow down the animal accumulation a little bit as well.
Like Peter Eggheim here in chat points out, kind of reminiscent of the change to the pit, too.
Indeed. Yeah.
It's a little bit more restricted.
Yeah. As the game goes on and more cards get added, there are sometimes combinations that we did not anticipate. Attacking 3 times on turn 2 does not lead to great games usually, except unless you're the attacker, of course.
And if you are someone who says, dang it, I hate these, I want to make sure this doesn't happen in the future, then join our playtesting team and help try all the weird combinations of things that nobody else tries.
Yeah, you can message me in Discord if you've been someone who has been on the Discord with, and we noticed that you've got some good rules knowledge. You answer people's questions, or maybe you play with other people on the Discord. You might be a good candidate for a playtester. And we can avoid issues like these in the future.
All right. I was wrong. The shakedown.
Yes, there is one. So, as many players were surprised to see that the shakedown originally let you look at the target foe's hand before deciding the attack type, well, we've just figured that was indeed a little bit too much. So now you're going to name the attack type and then look at the foe's hand so that they can discard all attack cards with that type. This is going to make things a little more fair. You're not going to luck into, you're not going to just be like, oh my gosh, 5 mental cards. I had no idea you had those. What luck? You've been playing physical this whole time. So wow, aren't I lucky? If I had chosen physical, I would have only hit 1. Well, now, yes, you do have to predict a little bit what your opponent is playing and what you might be afraid of. You cannot just, as many people were surprised that we didn't do this in the first place, now you have to name the attack type before you get to peak. So we were trying to slow down the aggressive decks a little bit, but the card was just getting used a little bit too ubiquitously. Disheveled Shelves actually was using it, even though they certainly don't care about being attacked. So we just wanted to kind of bring this into line with power levels of other cards, and just a better interaction instead of wiping someone out on a oh gosh, I had no idea. Now you actually have to think about it just a little bit.
Yeah. And that's the thing I was going to say. Like, it rewards game knowledge in the sense that, like, if you are looking at their deck and you've gotten a sense of what they're doing and like what cards might be in there, you might be able to make a more educated guess of like what they're likely to have in their hand.
Yeah.
Or if you're particularly worried about a certain type of attack, now you'll guess that type of attack instead of just taking whatever's, highest. So
right. It also, this way, cards like Interrogation or something lets you look at a foe's hand ahead of time.
Have more value.
It just becomes more valuable. That just seems a little more fair.
True.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just a quick welcome to anybody who's tuning in for the first time. I saw a couple first-time chatters, and we've got more people watching than usual. So welcome. Thanks for tuning in. If you were tuning in for the European Conclave news, November 19th and 20th in Toulouse, France. More exact details and registration to come soon.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Trinity Voss, another gangrel here.
Yeah. Trinity Voss, was fairly powerful in that she...
I would say, Matt, it's fairly.
She was fairly, yeah. Anyway, her old ability let any attack you made get +2 damage versus antagonist. Now it's only the first attack made by the member of this party. So, you're going to have to spend a card every round to get that attack in against an antagonist. You're not going to be able to sit back and just have Trinity and a 2-stat character just hammer antagonists with no card expenditure there. So there it is.
Makes sense. Yeah, a lot of whoa reactions to the changes, and then I think it can be frustrating. I know if you've been playing Tamaska and Trinity this whole time, but
right,
it also opens up kind of a world of possibilities of other decks or other cards that can take slots and maybe be better in relation now. Yeah.
Also, you may not have to worry about so many people at your table trying to claim Tamaska and Trinity if your particular deck isn't hurt so much by that. A keen here. This is not errata. This is just because we changed the attack sequence. Her old text mentioned step 8 of the attack sequence, which now does not line up with when you would reveal an attack card. So we changed the wording of it to future-proof it essentially so that you will just declare your attack type when attack cards are typically revealed. So that means if she has an attack card, she will declare it and then flip her attack card. If she doesn't play an attack card, when you would flip, which is, at that moment, you would say, okay, well, I'm attacking socially. I don't have a card, but there it is. So,
sure.
Yeah, okay. So that is not errata. That is just lining it up with the new attack sequence. So, and future-proofing it so we don't mention a particular step, which could change if we needed to change the steps for some reason. Again.
Yes.
Indeed.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for the cards that we are changing. Now, you did mention that you have, 2 cards on sort of a watch list?
Watch list are just cards that we want people to be aware that that we're seeing them a lot and perhaps may not be the best thing for the metagame. So the watch list is expanding.
You can go back to our 2-up shot.
Yeah. The watch list is adding now spy games, which people mentioned before, and also University Library. University Library was one of the most played havens at Gen Con, I believe.
It was the most played haven at Gen Con, even beat out Dragon's Roost 9-8.
Even beat out Dragon's Roost, right. So, we in general prefer that, there isn't just one best haven for, card drawing and things like that. There are different havens for different deck types. Having one haven that is good for every deck type is not a great thing, but we do want to see, we're going to give it a chance, especially with some of these new changes, to see if it is still the best haven out there. We don't know.
I like Gotama's 180-degree turn from "I'm loving all these changes" to "No, don't touch the library."
It is. So again, the watch list is just we want to see more. I suspect we'll actually, I think we can say now we won't make any changes prior to the European Conclave, because we want all those players to have they've got 2 months to build their decks and practice. They now know that there's changes to 6 cards that are going to be posted. They'll be on our website in a PDF. And of course, spy games. Spy games, it is something that is very disruptive to games. It's hard for people to wrap their heads around it sometimes, and it's just that unexpected "I got you" kind of moment is not everyone's favorite, and we want, we're here to provide a healthy and fun experience. So especially spy games used with Disheveled Shelves is particularly nasty, because someone might think, well, I can just draw cards all day long with no difficulty, and then suddenly you're at 10 cards and the person you thought was getting hand flooded suddenly is not getting hand flooded, and you are. And that's not a great experience, and it's really hard to see that coming for some people. Sure. So that's one of the reasons why it's on the list too.
Real quick, both Lorcan and Peter brought up a great question, and one that I should have addressed earlier regarding the European Conclave. So for the European Conclave, do not expect Dragon and the Rogue to be legal at that event. We don't know exactly when it's going to arrive in warehouses, first off. And given the fact that the UK and Europe tend to lag a little bit behind the United States, we're just going to say, don't be planning on Ravnos and Samichi. Play with the cards we have available right now. That's going to be available in both French and English. Have a nice fair playing field and not have any difficulties where, oh crap, this thing we thought was going to be legal isn't, or vice versa. Or especially have a situation where some people have it and some people don't. So should have mentioned that earlier. Heart of Europe as the latest product for the European Conclave.
I think we can post officially on that within a week, hopefully, right? I think we need to talk to the...
I'm saying this is the definitive Heart of Europe for that. There's just no way that we're going to make that call right now.
I took that as it could be, but I think that the odds are so low that it would be rather disruptive if it showed up on day 31 before the event. And of course, having it in French doesn't mean that other places, other parts of Europe are going to have any access to it. So let's just say course that through Heart of Europe, and let's just call it right there, and we'll get that into the official document. So
indeed.
Cool.
And then do you have one more watch list card?
No, it's just spy games and University Library.
Sorry.
That is it.
I blanked on the fact that you already said two.
No problem.
So we have one more thing to kind of talk about that I am really excited about, and I think will be exciting to both the players and the retailers who are watching the stream. So I don't know where. I think maybe some news came out of Alliance Open House, which was last week. We talked to a lot of retailers there, a lot of American retailers mainly, and there's still a lot of stores that are barely doing events, for the most part. Like maybe they're running Magic, but they're not really doing their full slate. But the world is sort of adjusting to the new normal, it seems, and stores are getting more and more open to trying more new things. So we want to incentivize building of strong communities for rivals all over the world, communities like we've seen in certain areas. Like great examples, I've talked about them a lot, but the Southern California crew, super dedicated. The players and the stores do a great job building that community, making it welcoming. We saw another awesome example with some of the UK players with the we shared it in our socials, but they actually did a Taskmaster episode. It's a British comedy show where the Prince of Bathgate was Taskmaster, and they assigned Rivals-related tasks to several players in the community. Had an awesome production, hilarious, super fun. That kind of stuff is fantastic, and the kind of thing that makes the game grow and succeed and be better than ever. So to that end, we have 2 initiatives that we're kicking off here just before we start October. October is the month of darkness. We're going to have some other fun and special things going on around the month of darkness. But this initiative will start September 24th and go through the end of the year. There are 2 parts to this. The Coterie initiative is for players. So this is a way for us to reward and recognize players who are taking a leadership role or taking that extra step to show up to the store and teach people how to play Rivals or run a tournament, whatever it is, to bug their store. Hey, get those OP kits in and I'll run the event. Those kind of players. We super appreciate the work that you guys all do, and we want to recognize some of you. So you're going to be able to report events that you run or are involved in like that. And if you have 5 qualifying events, which could be demos, demo nights, casual play nights, tournaments, anything like that, if you have 5 from September 24th to the end of the year, you will be entered into a drawing. And that drawing is going to have a bunch of prizes. 10 players are going to win their choice of, the plastic spot gloss agendas and havens. So wherever you are in the world, I will mail you the one that you want to go with your favorite deck and hook you up with that. 5 players will win a $50 store credit for use on our web store. So whichever your local web store is, you can get, the next expansion and some other goodies, just money for you to spend on whatever Renegade products you like. And then in 3 will win the ultimate prize, which has previously only been available through winning a Prince of the City or a Continental Conclave. We're going to turn you into vampires in the game like our princes. So it's going to be a chance for, maybe you're not the hardcore grind out games and win a prince type player, but you're the player who shows up every Wednesday night and gets people playing and is the one saying, hey, I'm going to be at my local store, come out and play with me. So you're going to have the opportunity to have a chance to win that prize and be immortalized in the game. But we're not just going to be motivating the players here. Obviously, you need the store's buy-in and the store's space to really make these things successful. So we have the Haven Initiative. For stores, it's very similar. They're going to be able to report events that they are running that are rival-centric. For stores, it is 3 qualifying events from September 24th to the end of the year. And some of those stores, 10 of them are going to win organized play kits. So they're going to win a selection of organized play kits, or Clan Clash will kind of figure out what works best for the store based on what they have or have not purchased. 10 of them will win that. 2 stores will win a $500 MSRP like Renegade spending spree, so they can get Renegade product for them to bring into their store and to hook up, sell to their customers. And then we are going to do, similar to what we're doing with the players, one store, the winning store, is going to have its likeness be made an actual Haven in the game. That will be a promo card that will be available to retailers next year sometime to just hand out to their players, much like we're going to be doing with the Annabelle card. So we'll actually commission art of your store, and I tell you now, I will get a nice canvas of it printed up and sent to the winning store so you can display it. Ooh. But we will also, put your store on a card. I think we'll probably call it Game Shop or something like that, and have your location on there as a thank you, as a cool, boon, because the stores that are putting in the time and the effort, the players that are putting in the time and the effort, are what make these really strong communities that generate great players, that generate great events, and just make the game work better for everyone. So there is going to be an email announcement going out after this. There's going to be a page up for both of those programs on the Vampire site. There is forms already up and running. So come September 24th, You can start reporting any events that you're doing and earn your way towards qualifying for those drawings. The drawings will be held in January 2023, and we'll get the prizes out to people as soon as we can. This does work for anywhere in the world, really. It's not restricted to just the US, just the UK, just Europe. So you can participate wherever you are and grow your community wherever you are. Obviously, it's helpful for us. It's helpful for you. It gives, you more people to play against, more people to, have a great time with at the table. So we're really trying to do that rising tide lifts all boats things. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited for some more people to get a chance to be vampires and join the princes in the pack that we're going to be working on.
Yeah.
Lorcan asked a great question. Is photo proof required? So yes, my form does have a spot for 2 photos. So we do want some sort of, it's not a matter of like trust, but one, we want to generate cool pictures that we can share on socials and say, hey, this store ran a great event and, these people are having a great time. And 2, it does just stop anyone who says, oh, I just want to enter 10 events that didn't actually happen or something. So I think 2 is not asking too terribly much, particularly retailers. If you have feedback on what is, too onerous or constructive criticism on what I can do to improve that process and not make it too hard for you, I'm happy to hear it. And we've got, 10 days before we actually kick this off properly. But yeah, photos are required. We collect the date. We collect, summary of what happened. It should not take you more than like 2 minutes to fill out. It's not a lot of information, but we do have some requirements. So not too much, I hope. And Jason and Coyote talking about the exact numbers. I'm not adverse to changing to dropping the player requirement some. We can, reach out to me on Discord and let me know if you have concerns. I'm happy to talk about it. Like I said, we have a little bit before we kick off here. Timur Love asking, does it have to be a store? I would say it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a store. If you have a cafe where you're running it and they are a big part of it, or you have like in Berlin, you have a venue that you're playing at all the time that is a community center or something like that.
Could also be like a college game group, perhaps.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah, there's some leeway there.
Yeah.
The Haven part is targeted mainly at stores. A board game cafe or something, totally fine. No issues with that. When in doubt, go ahead and submit those events, get them recorded. Because even if you don't win the likeness thing, you could absolutely win OP kits. You could win recognition in some other way too. But yeah, we are really excited with the new OP kits, with Clan Clash, with Heart of Europe out there in the new city deck. There's really no time, there's been no better time to get organized play going in your local community. If you're a player, we saw so many people at Gen Con who came to that intro event and said, I've had this game, I haven't found people to play with necessarily, but I'm so excited to be able to play it here at Gen Con. We want to, build more communities so those players don't have to just wait till next year at Gen Con to play again.
Yeah.
They can play
Speaking of which, there is an event on September 17th at Gaming Adventures in Englewood, Ohio. Awesome as Coyote is kind of set that one up, and I think it runs monthly. So if you're in the Ohio area,
get out there and
head
play.
over.
Yep, and we do have the ability. You can, if you're running these events, if you're a store or a player, you can go on the Vampire Rivals website, go to the event finder, and you can actually submit your own events. I'll then go in and approve them. Just make sure you list, where that event is, because if you just say Rivals Night and nobody knows the state, the country, or the store, it is not very helpful. But you'll have you'll widen your the number of people who are going to see and hear about that event. You're also welcome to post on the Looking for group in our Discord, post on one of the several Facebook groups for the game, and promote things like that. So I know we have a bunch of people in the chat who promote and run events in the UK, in Europe and the United States. So if you also have questions about the process or how do I talk to my local game store about running events, get on Discord and ask for tips. There are plenty of people who have experience with that stuff on both sides of the coin, be it retailer or customer. And Sokatep asking, will they have a form to submit a summary of these events? Yes. The announcements that have already gone out to retailers and will go out to players just in a little bit here have a link to a Google form. There's also a QR code on the website. Very, very easy to report these. Yeah. I'm just looking at all the different questions and seeing if we missed anything. Yes, Senor Fantasia. So it must be Senor because you said you're from Spain. So welcome. I would love to do a Spanish tournament with the Tapas Tour.
Apparently the event in Ohio is going to give out the Conclave event deck cards to players. So nice. Another reason to go. If you weren't at Gen Con, this is a great way to get those.
So that is all we have for tonight. As always, if you have questions that you think of later on, hit us up on Discord. We are pretty responsive on there. We will be back next week with the Simichi pre-con deck, so more Dragon of the Rogue pre-order previews. And then just remember, there will be no stream on September 29th or September 28th. I will be traveling and will not be available to come on Twitch. But we'll have some more previews before the month is out, and then we go straight into the Month of Darkness. If you are in Southern California for Month of Darkness, make sure you put October 15th on your calendar. Geeky Tees in Burbank, right?
I think so.
Burbank.
Yeah, Burbank.
Is going to be running a Rivals event, and both Jordan and Katie from Renegade Games will be there hanging out. We'll be doing some video, shooting some video there, maybe doing a little bit of streaming, and sending them some cool prizes. So put that on your calendar if you're in the area and able to attend. Not a prince or anything, just kind of a celebration event for Month of Darkness.
Mm-hmm. So, likely to get 20 plus people.
Yes. Yeah. They have a very strong community. So if you're in the area and you've not played with other people, head out there. It's a great group and very welcoming. Mm-hmm. Temerlev asking, do you email me about tournament kits? Yes. Shoot me an email, matt.holland@renegadegames.com, or hit me up on Discord and I can hook you up with the OP kits and the ability to order them. So that is it for tonight, everybody. I hope that is all good news and people are psyched about European Conclave, Clan Clash, the Haven and the Coterie Initiative, and just going into the fall here with a lot of excitement. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and Matt for coming on to talk and show us off the eroded cards. Mm-hmm. And we will be back next week.